Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Officer for the Morris County Government. Focus on Morris County is a program that's designed to keep us up to date on the actions that are being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. The show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. Now, on this segment of the program, we are going to learn about the Cooperative Extension Service of Morris County from my guest, and he is Peter Nietzsche. Pete is the Agricultural and Resource Management Agent with the Cooperative Extension of Morris County. I should make that the Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County. Pete, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County. Give us a little overview of this agency.
It's an agency that provides research-based information to the residents to help them solve problems that they may face. We do that through workshops, newsletters, phone contact, and now a lot through the internet.
Yeah. What is the connection between the Cooperative Extension of Morris County and Rutgers University?
Rutgers provides some of the funding for salaries for the faculty and staff as part of Cooperative Extension. And in return, it provides access to the research-based information in the faculty on campus to help address some of the problems that we identify.
Yeah. So now what is the connection between Cooperative Extension of Morris County and Morris County government?
There's a cooperative agreement between the university and Morris County government. The Morris County provides office space, staff, and supplies, and in return, that access to that information and the faculty on campus and the ability to do research to address local needs.
Okay. Now, give us, if you would, some of the divisions of Cooperative Extension of Morris County. I know there are several. What are they?
Our major program areas are agricultural and resource management, family and community health sciences, and then 4-H and youth development.
So when we talk about agriculture and resource management, that is your division. You're the agent. While I mentioned that, as the agent for this area, what are some of your responsibilities?
A lot of my work involves helping local farmers with their production and marketing issues. We also help landscapers, tree professionals, turf professionals with their pest problems and issues dealing with home landscapes, homeowners with their landscape and garden issues. And the whole time we're trying to conserve natural resources, protect the environment, do good environmental stewardship.
So now, when it comes to, you mentioned a number of public agencies, landscapers, residents. What are some of the programs that you offer to these individuals or organizations?
We offer soil testing. We have a laboratory on campus, and the results of those tests lead to fertilizer recommendations, proper fertilization, help all these professionals and gardeners identify pest problems and diagnose and management practices, identify insects, ticks, those types of things, and talk about control measures for those as well.
Do you go to a site, or does a person bring whatever he or she has a question about to you to be analyzed?
Typically, homeowners, we ask them to bring it in, mail it in a crush-proof container or a problem or such. We do make limited site visits to professionals, farmers, landscapers that are dealing with lots of residents.
In our area, in the Morris County area, what would be some of the typical concerns or problems that someone might come to you with a question about?
We get lots of questions on lawns and not growing well and proper practices on lawns. That seems to be a big challenge. Insects coming into the home, some of which are problems, some of which we tell them to just collect them and get them outside again.
Now, if I remember correctly, your division has over the years been involved in some research projects with the faculty at Rutgers University. If I'm correct in that, can you give us some examples of some of the research that Morris County has been involved with?
Yeah, typically we're continually cooperating with specialists on campus and at the outlying stations on projects. A couple of ones that I'm currently involved with, a couple plant breeders working on new varieties of tomatoes and strawberries, looking at which new varieties that might thrive well in the area, but with a particular focus on enhanced or better flavor. And so we're hoping some of those materials will be out for farmers and gardeners and consumers in the near future.
Now, when you talk about tomatoes, for example, I know everybody loves Jersey tomatoes because of the flavor. How can you improve on the Jersey tomatoes flavor?
Well, some of the larger production areas ship in and grow varieties that are meant for that shipping and are not really focused on our climate and our environment. So, grown locally, produced locally, and purchased locally, it's going to taste good, but we just try and keep making that better.
You, excuse me, you mentioned the lawn and garden services that are available to members of the public. What are some of those services that you provide to Morris County residents?
One of our main ones is our the Rutgers Master Gardener program, our volunteer program where we train folks in basic horticulture and gardening, landscaping techniques, and then we ask them to volunteer back and help us outreach that information to a greater number of the public. Some of that is through public events. Our other big thing is our homeowner helpline, where those volunteers staff the helpline and take calls or emails from local residents.
Now again, for the Master Gardener program, do you actually go to someone's residence or to someone's garden, or do you have a facility where these types of training take place?
The training for the Master Gardeners takes place at our office and also in cooperation with the Morris County Parks Commission at the Arboretum. But we can't make site visits to every, just like doctors, we don't make
house calls
anymore to every residence. We ask folks to bring material in or call or describe it. Sometimes digital images now are a big way to also help identify things.
And we should mention that at the end of this segment, we'll be giving you the address of the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Service of Morris County. If you have anything at all, a question about something that you need to bring to Pete and his staff, we'll be giving you the address at the end of the segment. But Pete, I would imagine that one of the more well-known or popular services or programs of the Cooperative Extension of Morris County is 4-H. What can you tell us about Morris County 4-H?
Well, it's a program that offers hands-on learning opportunities for youth from kindergarten to a year after high school. The program is trying to develop the life skills necessary for those youth to become caring, contributing members of society.
What are some of the programs that, some of these hands-on programs that the 4-Hers can become involved with?
There are a lot of specific interest groups or clubs. Animal science is some of the traditional ones we think of, but arts and crafts, natural sciences, community service clubs. There's also some community activities in school and after school. A few one-day events like Scienceational Day they hold in March for a larger audience. And then of course the culmination of the year is at the end of July, the 4-H Fair, typically held in Chubb Park in Chester, which invites all the members out to display their exhibits and things, and then the general public to see what the kids have done. Yeah,
at the 4-H Fair, these are projects that the 4-Hers work on throughout the year.
Correct.
In different areas, and they're on display at the 4-H Fair. You mentioned the science event. I'm drawing a blank now on the name that you...
Scienceational.
Scienceational. What is that all about? Is that for 4-Hers who, again, are involved in this science projects throughout the year?
It's for 4-Hers, and also just general residents are invited to come out, learn a little bit more about math and science. We know we're trying to develop those skills with youth, strengthen those skills. So that's a day open to all. They have little activities for different age groups in science and math and things.
Yeah. Any ideas how many 4-Hers there are here in Morris County?
There's about 500 throughout the county, and then there's also the people that participate in the fairs and other events.
Yeah. Now, I imagine with 500 4-Hers of all age groups, you must need volunteers to help with the 4-H clubs?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. It's easier to find youth than it is the volunteer adults that can really help us out and take care of those programs.
What do you look for? What do you look for in a volunteer? And is 4-H the only area that Cooperative Extension actually uses volunteers?
Well, I mentioned earlier the Master Gardener program.
Right.
Also, we ask those folks to volunteer back. But individuals that are willing to work hard, be consistent, work well with youth. We'll take them all.
The Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County, again, offers a number of programs, and we've really only just scratched the surface in terms of the specifics. But I'm going to give you some contact information right now if you would like to find out more about any of the programs and services that we just mentioned, or about some that we really didn't have a chance to mention. You can find the Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County on West Hanover Avenue. Now, it's County Building 550. That is not the address, that's the number of the county building in which Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County is in. It's in Morris Township. The mailing address is P.O. Box 900, Morristown, 07963-0900. Now, you can go up on the website, too, and find out about Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County. The web address, http://morris.njaes.rutgers.edu. I know it's a mouthful, but it's right up there on the screen for you. And you can always give them a call, 973-285-8300. Peter Nietzsche, I want to thank you very much for being with us and telling us a bit about the Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Morris County.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office. And that telephone number, 973-285-6010. You may call any weekday between the hours of 8:30 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. Why don't you visit the county government website as well? That's morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, you can sign up for the county's electronic newsletter, Morris County Connections, and get news about your county government delivered straight to your inbox. And you can also embrace the county government social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter. You can view past programs and other informational videos on Twitter. You can check out some county government documents on Scribd, and if you're interested in county photos from various events, you'll find them on Flickr. I'm Joe Garifo. I want to thank you very much for being with us. Don't go away, though, because we'll be right back.
Are you pregnant, scared, or a new mother who can't care for your newborn?
There's a safe haven in New Jersey.
You or a friend can bring an infant to any hospital or police station and give up custody safely, legally, and anonymously.
No questions asked. No shame, no blame, no names.
Call 1-877-839-2339 or visit njsafehaven.org to learn more. Remember,
New Jersey has a safe haven for unwanted infants.
Brought to you by the New Jersey Department of Children and Families.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we're going to be discussing some county government issues with my guest, Morris County Freeholder Tom Mastrangelo. Freeholder Mastrangelo is a Republican from Montville who is a two-time director of the Freeholder Board, having held that position in 2013 and in 2014. This year, Freeholder Mastrangelo is Freeholder Liaison to Information Technology, to Economic Development, and to the Morris County Board of School Estimate for the County College of Morris and the School of Technology. And he is also a member of the Freeholders' Shared Services and Budget Committees. Freeholder, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe. Glad to be here.
I mentioned that you were selected by your colleagues to serve as Freeholder Director twice, in 2013 and in 2014. What are some of the accomplishments during those years that you and your colleagues achieved that you're most proud of?
Sure, Joe. You know, during those 2 years when I served as director, you know, we've had some difficult economic times, and still in certain areas have some difficult economic times. But during those times, we were able to deliver two solid budgets of essentially tax reduction budgets. When you combine the open space reduction with the reduction in the tax effort, essentially we had reduced the total tax effort and reduced spending. We reduced even our capital expenditures, but still maintaining the integrity of all the services that the citizens have come to know and expect. You know, during that time as well, we implemented a $64 million debt reduction plan over 5 years, and we're on track with that reduction plan. And we also had, as you know, the winter last year, and especially this year, but last year as director, we we decided to increase the number of roads. Typically, it was 17 miles of roads, and we had increased it to about 35 miles of roads that we had repaved. So, and overall, I think we've maintained during my term as director, maintained the quality of life here in Morris County, and all the services remained intact with integrity.
You mentioned the budgets, and we know 2013 and 2014. We're now in 2015, and it looks as if the 2015 county budget will also come in with a 0% tax increase. How have the freeholders been able to do that these past few years?
Sure, Joe. You know, our budgeting process is a year-long budgeting process, and we look at every line item. So we controlled line item expenses. We've actually controlled the number of employees as far as reductions of the number of employees in non-direct service areas. We've actually restructured our debt as far as our interest, to bring our interest payments down, which affects the operating budget. And we've outsourced IT in certain areas, which has brought costs down. And we've implemented other technologies around the county, which has taken effect on the budget in a good way to reduce operating costs in several different areas.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned also that
for the new budget year, but
yeah. Now, I mentioned also that your liaison to economic development, you have been, and in 2015 you continue to be, and that includes the Morris County Chamber of Commerce, the Morris County Economic Development Corporation. Why is serving as a liaison to this particular area important to you?
Well, you know, Joe, it's important to me and it's important to the taxpayers of Morris County. We need to keep Morris County a thriving county with our big corporations here, our small businesses here, and you know, they kind of feed off of each other. It affects the quality of life here in the county as well, so we can maintain all our good infrastructure, you know, whether it be our schools, our roads, our bridges, because it helps the tax effort. Just recently, we've had GAF, who just moved into the area. They came from Wayne, New Jersey, Passaic County, over here to Morris County, brought a number of employees. We've had Ferris Pharmaceuticals and many other success stories. But the bottom line is it's important to continue to deliver the services, and if we have a strong economic engine with corporations who are relocating here and not leaving Morris County, and essentially not leaving New Jersey, that's the key to the success to maintain a great county, which Morris County is.
And I would imagine, Tom, that the CEOs of these corporations who are considering relocating to Morris County, that when they see county government involved in trying to bring them, let's say, to Morris County, that this makes a good impression on them about Morris County government, does it not? Yeah,
it does. It definitely does, Joe. The CEO, Bob DeFaro from GAF, was ecstatic that various levels of government, from the lieutenant governor, who is responsible for the Business Action Center under her domain, and here at the county, and even at the township level, that big welcome mat was laid out for GAF, for Bear, for Ferris, and many others, that we are going to be easy to work with. We're going to streamline, whether it's a new build, whether it's a renovation, and make sure that we can get them to get to business right away here in the county without any delay.
Now, I believe, Tom, that one of your initiatives over the last couple of years in terms of economic development was to suggest to the Economic Development Corporation that more mayors and more municipal officials get involved in the work of that particular agency. Why did you feel that that was important, and how has that worked out so far?
Sure, Joe. We, going back a few years ago, Paul Boudreau and myself were having a meeting, and I had mentioned to Paul that, I said, hey, Paul, have you ever had the mayors in? Have you ever had the council in? Have you ever had the administrators of the various municipalities in? And Paul says, hey Tom, we actually never did that. And so Paul and I decided that we would start that committee where we bring the mayors, we bring the council, we bring the administrators in on a quarterly basis to discuss economic issues within their communities, what drivers they need to increase their economic engines within their communities, and how the county can help, how the chamber can help, and thoughts and suggestions from each of the municipalities to the county and back and forth. It has just worked great and incredible. You look at what they've done down in Hanover Township with Bear, with a number of other businesses that have come into Hanover, was partly because of how we've worked together with the chamber and with the local mayors. So.
At the beginning of the segment, I also mentioned that you are liaison to information technology here at the county level. One of the major initiatives of the information technology area with county government was video conferencing with the courts, between the courts and the county correctional facility. Explain a little bit how that works and how it's benefiting the county and municipalities who are participating.
Sure, Joe. The video conferencing feature, essentially allows video arraignment of prisoners, at the county level. It also reduces the transport of those prisoners from the jail back to the courts for arraignment. It reduces the overtime of those officers, the meal cost, the fuel cost, the wear and tear on the automobiles and the transport vehicles, and it allows to streamline. It contributes to streamlining the court docket as far as moving cases along quicker and faster. So when I got here on the board, I had made that suggestion back in 2010 that we start to look at these type of technologies. We finally implemented the video conferencing at the county level. Now we're also implementing it for those municipalities who want to partake in it at the municipal level, where arraignments can take place, or courts can review prisoners and things of that sort. So.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about several things that have been accomplished here at the county government. But Tom, as you look ahead, what are some of the areas or some of the issues that you would like to see the Freeholder Board address or become involved with over the next few months?
Sure, Joe. Look, it's always about the budget, number one. Yeah. So always looking at ways how we keep a good handle on not raising taxes and delivering all the services of the county. A number of ways in my mind, some of the ways to deliver those services is to look at outsourcing mechanisms in certain ways to see how we can drive costs out of different models around the county. And there's other things we can do as well, as far as reducing our capital spend in certain areas and still maintaining the integrity of the services that we need to deliver.
And when it comes to the capital budget, I know the freeholders over the past few years have made certain areas priorities. We talked about infrastructure, but public safety and education are also among those areas, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Joe. In the capital budget that's proposed for this next budget cycle, look, roads and bridges are very important, especially now with the issue of the Transportation Trust Fund and where that may go. So we've actually funded $8.8 million in road resurfacing programs, which should cover, once again, about approximately 30 miles of roads. We've funded just about $3 million in bridge projects. We've funded $4.9 million in education projects. And, the infrastructure has to be maintained. We'll continue to maintain that. And, it's a pleasure doing this for the county and to deliver these services for the taxpayer.
Yeah, so now you've been on the board since 2011. You were elected in 2010. You've been on since 2011. How have you found the experience over these past few years?
Honestly, Joe, I've had a great time. I've since 2011 till today, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot more about the people of Morris County and the pride that they have in their county and the pride that they have in their own municipalities where they live. They take their government very seriously, and they take where they live very seriously. And I've enjoyed living up to my promises to reduce taxes, reduce spending, create a more transparent government. And I believe overall the people of the county appreciate it, and it's the people's government. So,
Freeholder Tom Mastrangelo, I want to thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about county government, maybe an issue that we did not have a chance to discuss, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office at 973-285-6010. And also, please visit the county government website. There is a lot of county government information that you'll find online at morriscountynj.gov. And once you're on the website, you can sign up for the county's electronic newsletter, Morris County Connections. You can also follow us on Twitter, become a Facebook fan. You can view some of our past programs on YouTube, visit the county document library, which is on Scribd. And if you'd like to look at some photos from various county events, you can do that on Flickr. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time for another edition of Focus on Morris County.